Varsity Club, welcome back to another classic. This is the week that I've had kind of circled on the calendar for this season. If you don't know, the first player to ever be suspended at Cascade Valley was Clayton McFadden, and with a lot of other things that happened, he transferred to Virginia. And not only Clayton McFadden, but Seth Sanders, the backup quarterback that we had, who did have a little bit of time to shine before Cedric Riley got here. He said, look, it's my time to go dominate, and he wanted an opportunity. And so, with one of our former coordinators leaving Cascade Valley and going to Virginia to become a head coach, those guys felt like an opportunity was there. We're going to show them why that was a bad idea today. Now, it has been a little bit of a slower start of the year for Jason Barr, but still, he's sitting at the top of the Heisman vote. So, in my opinion, he's sort of worked his way there because of what he's done over the body of his career, not necessarily what he's done now. We've got to change that today. And with this being our very first home game of the season, we have two recruits that we're bringing to go watch us beat UVA. That's going to be Dominique Mauger and Jere Sanders. Both these guys are important. Let's look at why. Now, for Mauger, he's going to be an 85 overall. He was a +2. So again, this dude is very, very good. 81 speed, 83 acceleration, hit power is 84, tackles a 90, literally better than any tackler on our team right now. Play recs an 86, block shedding is 87. This dude is also good at man in zone coverage. He will be a monster. We need to land him. And as it currently stands, we're kind of in a good spot. LSU, Tennessee, Vanderbilt are all sort of below that. He's 54% of the way locked. So that's why I was like, look, let's go ahead and get a visit in ASAP to get an even larger lead in these teams because they're too close for my liking. And what we ultimately need to do today is obviously win, but also have 2 sacks with a linebacker. So we're blitzing a whole lot. In addition to him, we have Jere Sanders, who's out of Cambridge, Ohio, so we get a little bit of a pipeline boost. We're currently second for him, but because we beat UNC, I feel like we're okay. He's 74 overall, +2 in that category, but he's a 78 pass block, 83 run block, 79 impact blocking. Again, probably not starting day one because we have some guys ahead of him, but he will definitely play some downs for us, I can promise you that. And then what we need from him basically, or what we need for him, I should probably say at this point, is 100 yards rushing, 250 yards passing. Easy, we got that locked in. Oh, one last thing, we also got a new recruit, a 3-star guard, John Cooper. If you want to check out his stuff really quickly, we go over to the scouting tab. He's got 73 pass block, 80 run block, 76 impact blocking. Again, maybe not, or probably not a day one starter, maybe a year 3, year 4 kind of guy. But again, we need to make sure we have depth on this roster for injuries or whatever reason we essentially need. Now, really quickly before we hop into the game, yes, we're playing at our brand new home stadium, which I'm super hyped about, and this would not be possible without 2 important people. So in the top right, you're going to see our little scoreboard, jumbotron, whatever you want to call this. The top right is Houston, not Mark's logo. He was massive in helping us get these uniforms styled and created and just put together, and so major shout out to him. The one below him is going to be Wad. He was also huge in making this happen. I pestered him with a zillion questions, and he made so many things happen. So if you enjoyed any of this content, any of the things that have ever happened in this series, whether it was the original uniforms in stadium or the stadium in the uniforms we're seeing now, those 2 guys are directly responsible, as well as the College Football Revamped team. So major thank you to them. Now, in our stadium is going to be a couple of things. You can see that we have our bowl games that we've won. So the New Mexico Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, and the Rose Bowl. And if you look over here to the other side of that, which is a little bit more difficult, John McConnell, you're going to see Romello Dawkins, Tommy Eichenberg, Mason Franks, Jordan Damon have all been memorialized in the stadium.
But GoodGameBro, what about?
Don't worry, there's more. Marvin Derwin is there, Teddy Edmonds is there, and Landon Rawls, and we got 2 more. Well, technically we have 1 more, but you're going to see Lonnie Downs on there because you can't forget about Mr. First Downs himself. And then John McConnell's on there 2 times because we're just trying to fill in some spaces. Eventually, this whole thing will be filled up with incredible players that have made major things happen in Cascade Valley. But again, do you feel like we got them all? Should there have been someone else in here that we didn't add? I want to hear from you in the comments down below. All right, enough of all that. We are ready to get things going. We are rocking the orange uniforms today because, again, we're trying to show UVA that our orange is better than theirs. Also, being that I'm from Virginia and I'm from like an hour away from Charlottesville, I kind of want to absolutely destroy them. It's just personal. It's just personal at this point. Cedric Riley, little adjustment here. Got a guy floating deep. Who else? Mr. Tom Baker. You better call a doctor because somebody's about to be sick with these moves he's putting on him. Barr back in the backfield. You know, we want to make this dude have something crazy happen today, but if we're not blocking, it's probably not going to happen. What's kind of wild is Barr is actually our leading receiver and rusher this season. That just feels weird in some ways. We'll see how much longer that lasts. Got a guy deep. We throw it a little late, and Jared Gold does get a foot down for 21. Now, to me, that felt like a late hit against or on Riley, but they didn't call that, so it's neither here nor there. Back here in the red zone, Barr goes up the middle. Love what he's doing, pushes 40s down at the 1. The touchdown vulture is actually in the game, so we're going to go ahead and see if we can go with the pass here. Baker's gonna grab one, and he loses 4 because he couldn't keep his feet in and turn up. So right here in 3rd and goal, we're gonna see if we can trick him a little bit, go with a little halfback screen. They are watching him, but Barr's super fast, and he slips just past the defensive tackle there for a 5-yard touchdown run. And now, we're up against UVA. All right, we see what our offense can do, but I'm really interested in what our defense can actually do. We want to make sure we get some payback on Sanders and on McFadden. Both of those guys want to do the same against us, so it's important that we try to do what we can as quickly as possible. And Sanders is already trying to scramble. He breaks the tackle from Moses. Walter's going to bring him down along with Lowe, but he gets 10 yards after almost being sacked twice. Sanders again, we know he's a playmaker. This dude doesn't have the strongest arm, but he's an absolute beast when it comes to running the football and making some short and medium throws. Now, a huge play there. We saw Chris Bass get involved in the backfield, makes a big play. Almost jumped off sides. We'll see what our guys can do here. Lowe's going to be responsible for the running back this time. And Seth Sanders panicked. What I think I'm the most excited about is that a lot of the guys that are on the field right now were guys that are really actually ready to see Sanders because they went against him in practice all the time. Remember, he got those 2nd, 3rd unit reps. These dudes know all about him. A lot of these corners, especially too, were sitting on the bench and didn't get playing time and got to work against him in practice. So sure, it might take a little bit, but I think at some point we're going to get an interception against this guy because our guys know him so well. And I see it right there is John Hall, the part-time defensive back, makes a play. We were watching you, Seth Sanders. We were watching you. Little wildcat action here. Thornton's in the QB. Defense kind of keying in on that a little bit, but Thornton's going to try to get to the edge. He's not super great at acceleration yet, but you know what? It's a solid game. Our plan with Thornton, though, is to use him a little bit as a weapon. I think he's too good to not play at some point, and we think that he can obviously throw the football a little bit too, so he's not going to be one-dimensional for us in offense. What is one-dimensional is our offensive line because they can't block anything. Unbelievable play that did not work out in any way, shape, or form for us. Riley makes an adjustment. He's got a guy going deep. He throws one over the top. That's RJ Riley. He's got the man beat. It's underthrown by Riley, though, but it's 55 yards later. We're right in the doorstep of the end zone. Right inside the 5. Handoff here to Jason Barrs, trying to force his way through, and he ends up being stopped at the 1. Barrs getting one more chance here. Straight up the middle. No one's going to be able to stop that man. Barr is in yet again for another touchdown. Get the Heisman ready. Put his name on it. I'm telling you, he's not losing it. We have a very specific game plan against UVA today, and we are trying to make sure we execute it perfectly. So far, so good. Cole overruns this guy a little bit, and we're going to see this dude breaks a tackle. Are you kidding me? Moses, though, brings him down. The defensive end is way down the field after 28. We're going to do our best to get some pressure there on Sanders. He's underneath the center now. They go with the little read option play. We got some guys, and oh, God. I don't know which Hall guy that was, but good Lord, it was bad. I mean, it was a great hit on Seth Sanders there. He's going to obviously feel that one in the morning, but the execution of that play to get the running back afterwards, not so great. They go with the run to the edge, though. Bass is right there. He gets stiff-armed out of the tackle. Are you kidding me? What a run this time by Broderick Blair. We're seeing a lot of runs right now from UVA, which I'm not surprised. They go to the pass. Actually, a halfback draw, and they're going to see this is breaking tackles like crazy. UVA's got an offense now. This kind of feels like UVA saw what we essentially were going to do to him there in the passing game, and they're like, all right, let's make sure we just run it down their throats now. They go with another run here. This time Bass brings him down after 3. Playing the pass this time, 2nd and 7. Sanders back in shotgun. Bennett right next to him. Little play action fake. Sanders has nowhere to go, and he gets hit by Josh Cole, who was ready for that hit. Sanders got a couple of yards there, but you got to imagine he's paying for that one. What a hit by Josh Cole. They go with the read option. We got one guy to stop him, and it's going to be in the end zone. Okay. So Seth Sanders might have had a mild concussion, but at least he found his way in the end zone. This is a heated game. It's our first time going up against somebody that we obviously have played against before, that played for our team. And it's a little different. Blood's boiling. We got to settle down and just lock in and let Robert Roth diversify and get them investments up. Love what we're seeing there from Robert Roth. Riley feels the pressure. Throws it back across. Who else but Robert Roth scoops that one up, and he's moving inside the red zone again. Back-to-back big catches by Roth. Riley's a perfect 7 for 7 today. He's felt the pressure, but he's moving around a lot better than he has in the rain. The rain was definitely, I think, kind of impacting him a little bit. He hasn't had the touchdown to interception ratio. Maybe he wanted to start, but look at Jason Barr. Trying to break him down a little bit. Gets down after 14, but he's looking great today. Barr has essentially been a huge part of our offense now. Sean Stewart coming in, though. Trying to vulture himself a touchdown. Goes up the middle, though, and he's not going anywhere. Loses 1. UVA has been really heavy in the read option game. We're going to give them a taste of their own medicine here. See how they can defend it. Barr, though, says, I'm going to take it up the middle. 2nd rushing touchdown of the game. Get the Heisman ready. I'm telling you, get it ready. Now, let's not forget, we have recruits visiting, and we need 2 sacks from a linebacker today, so we've got to get on that ASAP. But the way they're running the football, I don't know if it's happening, and Ray Bolton killed a man. Playing the pass here. Sanders again. In the backfield, he's going to hand it off. We got guys there, though. We're going to stop him after about 1. UVA's doing their best to avoid the passing game at the moment, but they probably have to go with it here. 3rd and 3. Sanders does a quick one, and Bass comes back to make a great deflection on that ball. Way to play, freshman. I think UVA knows basically that they want to be relevant in this game. They've got to keep up an offensive shootout because their defense is probably not going to be able to stop what Jason Barr is planning to do today. 2nd and 4, right back at it. Ooh, okay. Didn't see him at all. Lost a 3. Barr's had a really weird game. Only 39 yards rushing. But obviously, the 2 touchdowns is huge, plus the receiving touchdown as well. He's been fantastic this afternoon. Speaking of fantastic, Robert Raw out here making moves again. 16 more yards. Robert Raw is on pace to have over 100 yards in the first half. It's kind of wild when you think about it. Riley makes an adjustment, throws one a little late, and Willis is going to haul that one in for 26. He still has not thrown an incompletion. 214 yards. 9 for 9 in the afternoon. I mean, this dude, he's trying to make a name for the Heisman, or a case for the Heisman as well. Switching our guys up. Baker, across the middle. He's inside the 10. UVA cannot stop what we have on offense right now, and it's apparent. 1st and goal. Bringing Roth in motion. Ooh, probably should have pitched it. We'll take the gain of nothing. 2nd and goal, going right back here to Jason Barr. A weirdly productive game for the young fella, and he's right in the doorstep after 5. 3 for 3 in 3rd down conversions. I feel incredible. This is how you want to debut in your brand new home stadium in front of 60,000 fans. We're hyped. This time the touchdown vulture himself, Mr. Sean Stewart. Don't mind me. I'm just adding the score. Sanders in the backfield again. Look, I know they've been running it a ton, but there's only so many times you can run. Okay, just kidding. Oh, just kidding. Oh. Sir? Sir? Okay, let me just shut up. 75 yards later, let me just keep my mouth closed. Look, I did not want Seth Sanders to transfer. I wanted to keep him, but it's just one of those things where we have so many talented quarterbacks that where is he going to fit in? And if he were going to transfer, I mean, ultimately going to a place where he already knows the head coach, where he's going to be taken care of, where he gets an opportunity to start and become the quarterback. I get it, and I don't blame him at all. It was the right move for him. And I mean, throwing the fact that he gets to then have one of his favorite targets in Clayton McFadden, who, you know, has some attitude issues, but is still a very good receiver. It was a good move for him. And we haven't seen much of Clayton McFadden today, but Sanders has been electric. 1st down again, we're going right back to Jason Barr. Looking to have some blocking. Barr trying to get to the edge. Barr hit him with a spin move, and that was beautiful because he gets 12 off of it. The way Barr is starting to heat up, this could be a 150, 175-yard rushing game for him easy. Stewart goes up the middle, trying to get himself a couple extra yards, and he gets 7. Running the E3 here. It's like a safety going over to the middle. They left my man wide open. Call a doctor. This Baker's in here, and he's ill. Our focus is 1, stopping Seth Sanders, and 2, can we get a sack? But they're not passing the football, so I don't know if we ever will get a chance to. Sanders back under center. Trying to get some pressure on him. I mean, this dude's just taking off. John Hall lit him up, but good Lord, is he electric. I mean, Sanders honestly might go for 200 yards rushing the way he's at it. He had a 75-yarder earlier that he obviously coupled in. Oh, that might be a sack. Oh, I don't even know who got in there, but look, I'll take the fact that we got him finally. Bring in more pressure here on 2nd and 11. McFadden moves in motion. Still has not caught a pass to my knowledge. He throws a dot over here to Richardson, though, and Richardson's going to be almost pushed out and finally pushed out after 32. They have thrown 5 passes in the first half, and we're literally almost at halftime. That is incredible. Pass number 6 coming up. Little out route here to Ellis. The tight end's going to pick up. It looks to be 9, maybe 10. Pretty much in the red zone now. It's into the 21. Trying to get some pressure on Sanders. We need somebody, anybody. Can you bring this man down? It's going to be Chris Bass getting his first sack of the game. Crazy stuff happening right now. We need one more sack to satisfy what we need for that actually the number 2 linebacker in the nation who we have visiting this week. We whiff on a sack there. Hall's going to try to stop him. Seth Sanders is a problem. Sanders is single-handedly keeping them in the game. It's kind of wild. We are whiffing on tackles like it's nobody's business, and he's just doing like he did in practice. The dude's killing it. Speaking of killing it, Tom Baker with a nice move. Zooks him out of their shoes. He's going to try to keep it going, and he was so close. 39 yards later, we're good. We're calling a timeout. We got plenty. Guarding Baker's not easy, and he proves it every single week. Love what he saw there. Riley drops back. No one's on Jason Barr. That is a giant mistake, and Barr's going to work his way out of bounds. Gets outside of the 25. Riley is 15 for 15, 351 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, he took it personal that, you know, a certain quarterback transfer because of him. He wants to show him that he is absolutely better. And Riley goes up the middle here, picks up a couple. We're going to call our second timeout. That was actually his first positive scramble today. He was actually in the negative for rushing yards before that. Play. Floats it over. It's going to be close. That was a beautiful pass. His first incompletion, and it is batted away. That genuinely felt like it was going to be a touchdown to me. It was super close. It wasn't meant to be. 3rd and 3, 14 seconds left. Oh, that's a fumble? Not ideal. We fumbled it. I mean, I thought it was an incomplete pass. They ruled a fumble. We'll see if they challenge it. We're not going to challenge it personally, but that's tough. I mean, one more look at it here. That's 50-50. I think he's going forward, but you hate to see it. All right, you know what? I've had enough. We're actually going to challenge this one. I don't know if they can actually be intelligent enough to know if that's a fumble or not. I mean, that's tough. I feel like his arm is going forward, which shows it, but they're looking more at his feet. So that tells me that we're not going to get this overturned. See what the ref has to say.
It is what it is.
I hate you. We ended up finding out the coach, Mervin McMurvin, only was able to bribe the referee with $19.37. It's all he had in his pocket, so obviously we understand now why that didn't go our way. UVA runs a little pass here. I think they're going to call a timeout, but they had 3 seconds left. 3 seconds, 2nd and 5. They're obviously going to be in chuck it mode. We're blitzing. He throws one deep. We got everybody there. We go up. That's batted around 7 times. It's ultimately dropped. What a ridiculous first half. We were up 35-21. UVA is being single-handedly carried by Seth Sanders, former Coyote. It's kind of wild to me that Sanders is dominating. He's killing it. McFadden's kind of nowhere to be found. And you could argue that, yes, there's something to do with, you know, they're running it more than anything, but McFadden's not even involved in that game plan at all. This UVA team obviously started off a little slow, but man, they're putting a lot of pressure on us right now. We just can't tackle to save our lives. Matthew Fowler with a great play. Doing our best here to try to stay in front. 2nd and 10, Sanders back under center. Goes with the run, but Lowe is right there to bring him down, making it 3rd and short. We're switching things up a little bit. We're watching the QB significantly more than we're watching anybody else. Trying to get a blitz going. Sanders throws one. Fowler can't quite get there, but that one's dropped. The receiver dropped it, and we're going to end up seeing a 4th and 5, probably a punt. I mean, we got absolutely beat. Fowler turns around enough. I think his elbow actually knocked that one out, and he got the ball. UVA needed a touchdown, needed to get something going on that drive, and because they don't, things look a little bit more bleak for them, and we're going to let Barr go ham now. Barr stepping in at QB. We've actually not seen him line up as QB before. And unfortunately, he runs into the only defender within 5 feet. I like our chances, though. 4 and 5 on 3rd down conversions. We've been really good. This team knows how to make sure they get those yards. They're blitzing. We're throw it back. Riley's out here moving it. Riley picks up even more yards after the catch, getting nearly to the 50-yard line. The linebacker came in, nearly had that one tipped. And if he tipped it, it might even been a pick. So thank God Riley got rid of that one when he did. And we ended up living to be okay. Barr cuts to the outside. Barr's looking for a big run. He's got a guy in front of him. Can he get past him? He jukes him out of his shoes, and then he ends up getting tackled. We're 49 yards later. We're on the doorstep of the end zone again. 1st and goal. Baker coming out of the backfield. Baker beats his man in coverage, and he's going to be in the end zone. 3-yard touchdown run. We've been experimenting having him in the backfield a little bit on some of those goal line situations, and it works out big time. And this is some of the worst things we could have got. Barr has a minor injury. He'll return the game later, but it's a high-risk injury, so we're going to say, okay, Stewart, it's your time. Barr, you come back when you're 100% good. Now, to my knowledge, we still do need a linebacker sack if we're going to come out of here with, you know, the most possible points, and so we got to make sure we get a couple of blitzes dialed up. But again, our problem really isn't the pressure, it's the fact that they just aren't passing the football. That's been our biggest issue. They throw a nice little slant this time to Moore, and they're going to be drugged down by Hall. That might have been one of the most wobbly, spiraled balls I've ever seen in my entire life, but it still was completed, so that's all that matters. Blitz off the edge. Hemphill actually gets beat on that one, and Moore picks up a big 26-yard gain. Hemphill's been so good about jamming people to the line of scrimmage and just making big plays, but one of the rare times he's ever been beat. Lowe gets in the backfield, and that's enough to trip up the running backs. We can't really get anything. Blitzing heavy again. Sanders under center. We're nearly there. We have a couple of guys, but he's quick to get rid of it, and they get 5. Oh, our guys are all unbelievably not lined up properly. I'm scared. And they actually are 4th and inches because he falls down. They're actually going to line him and kick a field goal. I'm genuinely shocked by that. Gotta imagine the kicker has enough leg for this one. This one's up. That is an absolute boot, and that one's good. They cut the lead to 18. If there's one thing we know about Seth Sanders, is that he's probably yelling at the coach and arguing and pleading his case to try to go for that one on 4th down. The coach didn't take one from McMurvin's book and opted not to go for it. And honestly, that feels like it changed the tide of the game. Because if they go down and get that 1st down and get that touchdown, things are crazy. But just having the lead cut to 18, that's not enough in my opinion. Back across his body, throws an absolute dot, and it's Jared Gold with another 20-yard gain. Riley has thrown a single incomplete pass, 405 yards, multiple touchdowns today. This might be the best game we've ever seen from him. And I mean, he had a point to prove, and he's absolutely making sure he proves it. That little run gives Barr 120 in the game, which doesn't feel like a lot for him. We're so used to seeing him, especially at the end of last season, go for these major gains that you're just waiting for him to pop off and do something big. 1st and 10, Riley back under center. He felt the immediate pressure. He had to go. He's got Riley deep. He throws one in. Oh, what a play. The corner saw it, came back over, and almost had a pick. If Riley tries to make that throw off the run, it's probably not going to work. So, like, I applaud his effort in what he was trying to do, which is got to find a way to get better blocking, in my opinion. This one goes to Tom Baker, who's having a heck of a game already. He picks up 17 more. 7 for 128, 2 touchdowns for Tom Baker. We still have a quarter to go. Obviously, he's probably not going to play a ton in this next quarter, but still, he's having a great game. 2nd and 6, 3rd quarter's winding down. Williams in the backfield. Who else but Mike Hemphill is going to be wide open in the end zone. Mike Hemphill, what can he do out there? If our offensive line was good, this team might be perfect. It's kind of insane of how talented this team is offensively. The blitz was on the edge. It's going to be a sack, but it's by Dwayne Cole and not a linebacker, so we still need one from a linebacker. We overloaded heavy on the right-hand side there. An absolute masterful play call by the defensive coordinator, and we obviously reap the benefits of it. Little dump down this one to Richardson, and he goes for 4. Should be the last play here of the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 13 for UVA. They are getting desperate right now. Lowe is going to get a hit, and Hemphill makes a great deflection, his 2nd deflection of the afternoon. I think this is proof that if you transfer from Cascade Valley, we're going to schedule you, we're going to go after you, and we're going to expose you. And we're doing all those things right now. We'll dump off pass out of the backfield. Jason Barr making some moves. Again, he's great in the receiving game. So good this season. 450 yards passing from Riley. And he's still going at it. He's still got plenty of time left in the game. Probably his last drive, though. Barr is out here floating. We're going to hit him over the top with an over-the-shoulder catch. And Barr needed to break one tackle. Make one guy miss. And he's in the end zone. That would have been a crazy play. 6 for 7 in the red zone. What an unreal afternoon. Our guys are all over it. Gold moves over to the left-hand side. Little play action fake. Raw, that's thrown a little awkward, but I mean, he just juked the guy out of his shoes, and all of a sudden, Cedric Riley's name is now on the record books. That pass gets him 498 yards on the afternoon, breaking a record from our own John McConnell. If one guy's going to do it, it's going to be Riley. What a throw, what a catch, what a play. There was so much talk coming into the season about Sanders, his reasons for transferring, why he felt he was a better quarterback than Cedric Riley. And there were some people even that were saying that they thought Sanders was better. I think this game is really proving that Riley, he is that guy. And all of a sudden, I believe that's going to be Cole getting the sack. And if so, that is going to give us 2 sacks from a linebacker spot, which we desperately needed to help out our recruiting efforts to maybe get the number 2 linebacker in the nation. 2nd and 14, 6 minutes left. We're still going to be blitzing. You can count on that. Lowe trying to get in there. That one is thrown wildly out of bounds. We're doing our best to make them feel uncomfortable right now. Bringing the heat again. This time it's Bobby Edwards forcing the fumble. The big fella picks that one up, and they lose an insane amount of yards. I mean, you can't tell me you don't want to play for this defense. What they're doing right now is just, it's legendary. This might be the best defense we've ever put in the field. These guys are just absolutely monsters, and they show it every week. Hemphill's back at a return one, roughly at the 50. He's going to sweep it out the left-hand side. He's looking for those blocks. He cuts up a little bit. He cuts back. Hemphill's moving. Hemphill's going. Hemphill runs into his own man, and he falls at the 4-yard line. That was going to be a punt return for a touchdown. Hemphill is one of those dudes that if he touches the football, you already know something crazy is about to happen. And we got Thornton in. Little wildcat formation. Thornton's going to keep that one, but they bring him down with a good stop. Thornton's going to stay in, running that same wildcat formation. He's probably going to be in for the remainder of the game as well, but again, still give him an opportunity to run with the ones. Thornton feels it, and again, the shoestring tackle brings him down. You hate to see it. A big 3rd and goal from pretty deep. Not exactly ideal. We would have loved to have seen something a little bit better there, but it is what it is at this point. Throw it out. Willis is there. Willis! Jeremy Willis is going to go up at Mawson, man. Over the shoulder. Big fella, we see you. Now our starters are in our defense. Again, a little bit of a bug. We'll obviously have them out after this one, but we're just trying to make sure that we let some other guys get an opportunity to shine. And I feel like if you interview Seth Sanders, or even if you interview Coach Mervyn McMurvin after the game, he'll tell you that Seth Sanders has not been hit this hard since he was in practice in Cascade Valley. That's for sure. I don't think McFadden has actually had a single catch this afternoon too, which is just wild to think about. McFadden had a ton of issues in Cascade Valley. He was a great player in his first 2 seasons, but it was really that junior year that set the tempo to just not work out. And what the heck was that play? Even still, though, we wish him the absolute best and hope he does well, just not against us. Stewart takes his carry up the middle. Solid carry for him. He hasn't had too many opportunities for action today, and he goes for about 8. 2nd and 4, 3.5 left. Letting these backups get these plays off. Stewart, about 1, and makes it 3rd and short. Thornton's been solid, though. 2 for 2, 19 yards, little touchdown pass. Obviously, getting hit earlier wasn't exactly ideal, but I think the offensive line didn't block from as much as he probably would have wished. Pressure in his face, and he throws an absolute strike to Jeremy Willis. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, we've got something in Thornton as well. Like, this dude is getting his opportunity to shine and get a couple of plays here and there. He could be an absolute problem if we needed him to be one. Another good route, and that's a really, really good jump. Look, I will take that throw every single time. It's just a better play by the defensive back there to make that play. We had a couple players leave us in the offseason. We had a coordinator take a job to be a head coach, and I am happy for them. But if you put us in the schedule, if you allow us to put you in the schedule, problems will be had. Recapping the stats, Cedric Riley had his best game ever in Cascade Valley. 498 yards on 5 touchdowns, got sacked twice, but he threw 2 incompletions. He was electric. Thornton obviously came in 3 for 4, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I don't really hold that against him, in my opinion. From the running game, Barr, 17 for 129, 2 touchdowns. Very solid game by him. Riley, again, because of the sacks, didn't really have a really productive game, and obviously Thornton struggled there too. On the receiving side, Baker, 7 for 128, 2 touchdowns. Barr had a touchdown. Willis had a touchdown. Roth had a touchdown. Our guy Mike Hemphill had a touchdown. People were getting the ball in every which way, and I love to see that. And then on the defensive side, we're going to see 6 tackles from from Matthew Fowler, as well as Dwayne Cole tying from that perspective as well. From a sack perspective, everybody got involved. Josh Cole, Dwayne Cole, Chris Bass, PJ Bean, Mark Mullins, and Bobby Edwards all got 1 today. Then we see the only interception by John Hall, part-time player. And then we also saw, again, I believe, a forced fumble, this time coming through from Bobby Edwards. The defense was incredible. The offense was incredible. And Seth Sanders, honestly, was incredible. But it wasn't enough to beat us. They got to deal with that. Be safe, be smart, tell somebody you love them. Catch you guys in the next one.